I remember it arriving at Burton Tower, and I remember the big cartons and Mark Slobin unloading, but I'm not sure that that's a real memory or that I remember the picture of him unloading. Anyway, so it was all moved up to it was the fourth floor, wasn't it, at that time? It was moved up to the fourth floor. And Bill Mom had to knock down a wall. Did he tell you about knocking? Oh, he had to knock down a wall in the fourth floor. It used to be two rooms. And we moved the gamelan in and got it all set up because Susilo had come to help us set it up because we didn't even know where the pots went. So Susilo set it up. And then he took off. But before he took off, he taught me to play Udan Mas. And I also had the UCLA recording called Venerable Dark Cloud. The Venerable Dark Cloud. That was that originally UCLA, which he taught the UCLA Gamelan to play the pieces on that recording. He was teaching at UCLA, came here. He taught me and intensively for 10 hours a day. And then he went home. And then I taught the gamelan as much as I remembered, and I wrote everything down and tried to make notation, just as a memory aid, just to help me, even though I know the use of notation is a big debate. But I wasn't putting it into Kapatian notation, Javanese. No, I didn't even know. I didn't even know about Kapatian notation at that time. So anyway, so I had what he had taught me and what I had notated in Western notation, and taught the gamelan to play Udan Mas, backwards and forwards, inside and out, Pelog and Slendro. And our first concert, as I recall, that's all it was.
Okay.
I think we played. I'm not sure even we had a whole program, but I know that we played Udan Mas in Pelog, and then we played it again in Slendro, and of course the audience didn't have a clue that it was the same piece. And then Susilo came back a second year. We got the money to bring him back and teach again for a few weeks, and we did the same thing again. He intensively taught me, and then and I scribbled things down frantically, and then taught whatever I could remember, and with the help of I still don't think I had anything but the Venerable Dark Cloud recording from UCLA. The second year, and then I went off to Java and began to learn what it was all about, basically. And so that's how the gamelan got off to this very stumbling, amateurish, bootstrap kind of operation. The gamelan really needs its own dedicated space. We lost that when even when we moved out to the School of Music, we still had a dedicated space. We had that basement. But then when we got moved into a room that was shared with other ensembles, and we had to unpack and pack up the instruments all the time, that's very hard on the instruments, and it takes time out of rehearsals, and also it just it shows a kind of devaluation of the ensemble to have it lose its own dedicated space. And that has been happening, unfortunately, for quite a long time with our gamelan. one, we were one of the very first ensembles besides UCLA and Wesleyan. And we had a large graduate program in ethnomusicology, which dispersed these scholars to many other places in the country. Yeah, we were. I think we still are one of the most active and prominent ensembles around the country.